Hey folks, welcome to the City Point Terminal Model Railway. I'm going to do a little update on my layout and what I've been up to. Got a lot of things to do and a few things I finished. So just to start, I'm going to just go over the layout and you'll be able to see what I'll talk about what I've been up to and some things that have changed and some things left to do. So this is the lead-in tracks module. As you can see over there, I have the fortification, and I've started a little work on the abattis, which is a defensive, basically during the Civil War, in front of entrenchments. The Union troops used to chop up branches and put it out in front of the entrenchments as defensive, basically barriers, prevent any attackers from getting into the trenches too quickly, just to slow them down a little bit. So I started gathering some twigs and stuff and putting that up there. Also on this end of the layout, I've got a gap here at the end between the end of the wall. This end of the layout, the train will come around the corner here through this room, and I got a lot of stuff here I got to get rid of or move or eventually, and it'll go back behind the furnace there. So I've got the walls done. I've got the floor redone now. The trim in the window, I'm going to paint that white to match the rest of the baseboard trim. And I got my table over here set up with my Apple II that runs the automation system. And you can see the wiring running out over the layout. So this track here will continue around the room in a U shape. The other thing I've got a fascia with my mom was nice enough to sew me a skirt. Now I have to still, above the switch things, or the layout picture, I've got to put some signage so you don't see all the wires coming through the top. That's pretty unsightly. But I do have a fascia on this part of the layout and the skirt, which really adds a dramatic effect. The other thing I want to do is I want to put a backdrop on that part of the layout. And just moving down the layout, I've got those 3 cabins I built. They're basically during this period, I believe that I'm modeling, which is late March 1865. I believe the 18th New Hampshire had their camps up here behind the entrenchments. They helped build the entrenchments, and I presume they were also there to man them in case of some kind of raid or something by the Confederates. I also have this little guardhouse here. I happen to have found that in my collection of old wargaming stuff. It's really got the wrong roof, and there was a guardhouse there originally, but it's a little different. So I'm going to have to either modify that or replace that with a more prototypical guardhouse. Up here on the between the camp on the hill and the car repair shed, that was actually dug out a little bit. I believe they got some sand from there for ballasting the track, and they had a couple structures up there. So someday I'm going to basically dig into that hillside there. I'll put the picture next to this video so you can see what it looked like. So there's still some more work to be done there, but you know, it looks presentable now, but I'd like to get it a little more prototypical. And then you could see on the fascia my my switch controller and the thing, and I've just, on the top of this, I'm just going to put a a sign describing what this module is all about. Pardon the dehumidifier. It's kind of humid summer right now. So anyway, some other things I've got done here. I've put up, there's 2 water tanks next to the engine house. One of them was covered, so I built that. And from pictures, you can see the hose came out this side, because that track nearest the engine house was also the led to the wood pile. So I've got that. They also had a water gauge on the outside of that, so I've got that to do. They also had pipes running down to the river and a portable steam engine down by the river, so at some point I'll put in the pipes. But the engine house is mostly done. You can see I've got the doors on there, and the doors are open. Back on the other side of the engine house, there's a machine shop and shed, and I'm in process of building that. And it's probably I could finish that in 2 or 3 sessions, something like that. But I'm working on it. Let's see what else in this section. So if you look here, I built a little hand cart. Tichy Trains sells these little hand carts, and they're perfect, almost perfect representations of what you see in the old Civil War photos. And speaking of Civil War, as you can see, I got some more modern locomotives here, but I've got that one needs some work, and I got 3 more of those generals to build up. The roofs on the passenger cars did not have the raised section on it, so I got to replace those roofs to have it more prototypical. So there's always something, there's a lot of little things to do. And then as you can see down here, I've got a tool house and a carpenter shop done. So when I get the machine shop on the other side of the engine house done, I'll have most of the main buildings done for these 2 sections of the layout. And then as you go down here, you can see I've started work on this next section. I'm really excited about this. The 3 pieces of paper there are representing buildings, the carpenter's tool shed on the far, the train station in the middle, and the carpenter's workhouse near me. And then you could see I had 2 layers of Homosote for this one. So the top layer is going to be land, and the bottom layer is going to be water. And so the wharfs went out over the water about to where the end of these sections of track are. And then there'll be a foot of open water, and I want to build a ship. The captured Confederate blockader Hope, I got a book with all the detailed plans on how to build that one in 1/96 scale. So I'm going to scale those plans to 1/87. It's 3 or 4 inches, 10% bigger, but to me it'd be worth it to get it the right size. And you can see here the bench work. I don't have the fascia. I just did this last week. That bench work took 3 or 4 days to get to where I am here. And then down here, so I've got a little room. I was a little worried that there wouldn't be enough walking space on this end past this end of the layout, but it's plenty to get by. And then as you look down the room, I'm probably going to shift the layout a little bit so the tracks on the other end lead a little bit more to the left. So it'll be easier for the train to make that bend. So the next steps I've got here are to put in the earth and the water. The water will be fun experiment. And what else? Nothing much. Here's another close-up of these little buildings I'm working on, the machine shop. So I got a little bit of work to do on that. And then the huts for the soldiers up here, I've got to build a bunch more of them. And I'll include some pictures here. The actual rows of these huts, it kind of looks like a slum from the pictures. So I've got to basically fill in a lot of details. But at least it gives you an idea of where I'm at, what I've been working on. You know, the engine house is pretty much done. I built some things to keep the trains from running off the end of the track, because I have a tendency to do that. And that's it. And then the train, it'll wrap around that wall in a U shape and come across the top of the desk over here. And that's my work desk. The printer will have to be moved, but as it's too high, that's where the track will come through there. But this is kind of where I'm at, what I've been working on. When I edit this, I'll put in some pictures of the actual scenes that I'm modeling, and you can see what I'm going for. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this brief look at progress on the City Point layout I'm working on, and have a great day.